All right.
Welcome, everybody, to another thrilling episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, here with my pal and famed peanut butter sculpturist, sculpture maker, artist. I don't know what your title is, Stephen,
Artisan.
but Stephen
Artisan.
Robles, artisan.
Yes,
peanut butter
I love
artisan.
listen.
That just sounds like you make art with peanut, but not sculpture. It's the whole sculpture thing. That's your deal.
I consider my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to be art. So I would say that is an accurate depiction. I am an artisan of peanut butter. But, Andrew, I'm excited because we have a third member here on today's episode, returning guest from Eve, Tim Berth. Thanks so much for joining us, Tim.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
That's wonderful. We're going to grill Tim later about where's the Eve dimmer and why the flare doesn't have thread yet. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. Although I probably will ask.
Maybe a little, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Like a small flame.
Yeah. But great to have you here, Tim, and we will get to all the Eve stuff and stuff in a moment. But actually, our first piece of news is about Eve, which is awesome. But Sonevo actually has brought Eve MotionBlinds to Germany. So if you live over in Germany, you can buy Eve MotionBlinds. And we've been covering over the last several weeks that Eve has been available, the Eve MotionBlinds, available from more and more vendors and in more countries. How have you guys been working through that? Have you guys been kind of working with those third-party retailers to expand your reach?
Pretty much, but not directly. This is the first time we sort of do a cooperation with a company who's specialized in just that, called Coulisse. And they have a great network of partners around the world that they work with. Because with blinds, it's not usually a product like a smart plug that you just buy in a store and plug into your outlet and you're done with it. You need to have like your exact measures and there's like tons of fabric choices you want to take into account and all of that thing, which sort of makes just having one product on the shelf very difficult. So there are all these great partners out there like Sonevo, like Select Blinds that you've mentioned in the past episode, and many, many more around the world that do just that. They use the motor we've developed and put it into a really nice blind that fits your window perfectly with the fabric you want. And so that's the most straightforward way to get these.
Very cool. Andrew, you got anything you want to add to that?
Nope. I just like them.
Okay, perfect.
They're really cool.
They're very cool. I hope to try some of these in my new home. We're 5 to 6 weeks away. I'll put a picture up. I just installed about 30-something HomeKit light switches, and the next step will be putting in some shades and door locks and all that. So, yeah, I'll be looking to see what Eve might offer in the near future, Tim. Let's see what you guys got. Sorry, just trying to get anything out of them that I can. All right, well, Aura Air actually had an update. Andrew, it looks like you got some info on that. Tell me about Aura Air.
Yeah, gosh, this is like a storied thing. Like we mentioned it like 30 times now on the show, and I feel like it's like ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. So Aura Air, like around CES time, was like, hey, HomeKit support coming to the Aura Air air purifier, and then they were like, JK, no, not yet. And then they were like, another update's coming out soon that you can use shortcuts and stuff to control it, and then it was radio silence. We didn't get that update for a while, but it is here now in the latest version of the Aura Air app. It does have full integration with Siri shortcuts, as well as like Amazon's Assistant and like the Google Assistant and IFT, all that kind of stuff. But Siri shortcuts, so you can tie this into your scenes and your HomeKit automations. That way, there are 4, I think, commands that you can do. So like you can put into like the quiet mode, full on mode. There's like auto mode, stuff like that you can all control via Siri. So it's not full-blown HomeKit support yet. They still say that's coming, but at least in the meantime, you can integrate it into your scenes and automations that you already have.
Very cool. Sounds fun. All right, there was also another app update to Ambee. I actually hadn't downloaded this app until I saw you put it in the notes, but Ambee is an app to control your hue lights. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like it's a dynamic scene creator for hue lights, and they came out with a big like version 2.0 release, and it's like automation, so like all of your lights will like change and flow, and instead of just like a static light, like light coming on and boom, that's what it is, you can set a bunch of different colors and it'll like cycle between them, and you can choose like the speed and all that kind of stuff. So in version 2.0, they say it's completely redesigned, recode from scratch. You can group lights by scenes, moods, colors, and sound. You can have favorites, and you can add into albums that are coming shortly. There are more controls for brightness, speed, volume, and pause. Picture-in-picture if you're watching a scene with it. There's a lot of cool stuff here. They also added iPad support. So, hey, if you like your hue lights and you want to kind of tie these scenes and these animations in, give it a try.
Very cool. All right. Well, also, Schlage, the HomeKit lock that we have talked about for several weeks that actually supports HomeKey, the first lock ever. If you want to use HomeKey, this is the one to get. You can now buy it. It is available. You can actually buy it in Home Depot, either the app or online. Check whether it's available in your store. But if you order it from HomeDepot.com, you can get it delivered as soon as next day, at least where I am here in the States. So exciting. First HomeKey lock is now publicly available. You can go buy it. It's awesome.
I know. Look, there's nothing against Schlage, but why is this the first HomeKey lock? It's a little disappointing for me. Schlage's a big name, but the lock isn't my style, and it's kind of big and bulky, and there's so many other HomeKit locks. I'm surprised we didn't see this drop with Level or August or something else, and I don't know. This isn't my cup of tea. I got to try it. I mean, I'm going to for sure be reviewing it and everything like that, but just a little disappointing that this is the first HomeKey lock that comes to market, and it's kind of big and bulky.
If only there was a HomeKit brand that does a lot of thread stuff that doesn't even need a hub. Maybe they could make a home.
Yeah, that works exclusively with HomeKit.
That would be amazing. Tim, do you have any idea if there's a brand like that maybe making a lock sometime soon?
Maybe. I mean, the brand question sort of seems familiar. There might be one in my mind. I'm not sure they're working on a lock, though.
Oh, okay. You see, Tim, the first time we have a guest on, it's all buddy-buddy. The second time, we are going to grill you. We want some info, some behind-the-scenes info.
Okay, I'm ready for that.
All right. Well, so yeah, Schlage, I forgot how to say it already, Andrew. The Schlage.
Nope.
Schlage?
You got peanut butter in your mouth over there,
That's
Steven.
what it was. I was just making a sculpture. The Schlage lock, available now from Home Depot. And a final piece of news. This is not, they didn't announce it. The news was Wemo already announced that their thread dimmers were going to be coming later this year. They said that at CES. But the Thread group tweeted that the new Thread Wemo dimmers were coming soon, and so I got excited. I quote tweeted the Thread group and said, Belkin, tell me, is it coming soon? And Belkin confirmed once again, summer is when we will see their Thread dimmers. And so, as you'll see from the images of my HomeKit light switches, I bought a ton of Wemo dimmers. They are not Thread. That is not coming till the summer, as Andrew already predicted. So,
yeah, and we know this too. That the Thread group likes to get excited, I think, sometimes with sharing, not like exclusive information, but they were all about the Wemo having the Wemo Stage Scene Controller having Thread. But we didn't get that update for many, many months after they had their whole white page on it. And it's cool, no one can use this yet. So we know the Thread group likes to push those white pages before anything is even, kind of out there. So I wasn't expecting this was imminent when I saw them talking about that.
Right. Well, it just crushed my dreams officially. I just wanted to put that out there. I'll link to the tweet.
Good.
So. All right. Well, we got Tim Berth here, Andrew. Where are we going to grill him first? What do you want to do?
Well, I think we should talk about Matter. What do you think, Tim?
Oh, you mean that fictitious HomeKit standard? Yeah.
We've talked a lot about it, too.
HomeKit, or Matter, I'll believe it when I see it. That's the official tagline for Matter here on the podcast.
That's such a great tagline.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tim. All right, listen. You guys have announced Matter support for some of your products. We have been covering the last several weeks. It's been delayed again, possibly till the fall. Tim, what's going on with Matter?
Well, first of all, I mean, what's there not to believe? I think this is... It's hard to not believe in this because everybody's joined this effort. So really, this isn't a question at all about if this is gonna happen. It's been a question about when it's gonna happen, and that has shifted a bunch of times because it's a really, really ambitious project. but nevertheless, it will happen, and it will be awesome.
So here's my worry, Tim. There are a lot of people getting together on this thing, right? Which is good, great, because it's a lot of interoperability, and theoretically would be a lot of like problem solved. But at the same time, between a lot of delays, a lot of not a lot of clarity on things like the certification process and how it works with various platforms like HomeKit, which of course is on Apple. But like the question of what the heck, like what products are going to look like when they launch, between marketing and everything, it seems like it's going to be so confusing, so delayed. Despite the fact there's so many people involved with this, how are consumers going to react and understand and everything like that when it feels like the people in the industry don't even know how to feel or understand? I believe it will come, but whether or not it like takes off and becomes the de facto standard seems like another question entirely.
Well, I think I would disagree on that last part because, sort of everybody in the industry agreed this is what we need and this is what we're going to do. And I think where a lot of the unknowns right now come from is because this was a very public process all along. So this wasn't like a bunch of companies behind closed doors designing something and then saying, okay, now it's launched. This is the product. But rather it was communicated a lot throughout the development of this, what the status is and what the plan is. And so plans change, and everybody that has been dealing with software development specifically knows that it's really hard to plan, like what things are going to pop up and what problems could arise and what sort of new ideas you want to get in there. So ultimately, software development is a process without a natural end. So you need to find points in time where you commit that this is version 1, for example, and then work on shipping that. And I think this is what we all have seen now, that we sort of have observed that process before the product or the standard is done. We have sort of been getting glimpses at that, which doesn't mean that it will be much, much clearer once products are actually in people's hands. Because, I mean, the whole goal of this is to make it clearer and to make it easy for everyone.
Sure.
So I have a question. You guys are kind of HomeKit first at Eve. All of your devices are really HomeKit first. And so I guess the first part of the question is, when Matter comes, and you guys have adopted it, that means those in other smart home ecosystems like Google Home or Amazon's will then be able to use Eve devices in their smart home without HomeKit, right? That's
right.
What the goal is, right? So The follow-up question then is, we've actually talked on the last episode about what happens when a HomeKit company stops supporting their cloud services. iDevices recently announced that they're no longer going to, support their stuff, but their devices still act in HomeKit. Was it not iDevices, Andrew?
iHome. iDevices is still kicking.
Excuse me. iHome announced that they're not supporting their service anymore, but their devices that are HomeKit compatible stay in HomeKit. You can still use it in HomeKit and all that kind of stuff. From your understanding, Tim, if a third party, let's say some light switch, that is not currently HomeKit compatible, not HomeKit first, but they support Matter, Matter launches, and now Matter allows me as a HomeKit user to adopt that light switch into my HomeKit home, and I can control it and everything. What then would happen if that company like iHome goes away? Does that HomeKit compatibility stay? Is that Matter, does it stay, can I still use it like normal? Or what happens? Do you have any idea there?
Yeah, so you're both describing the problem and the solution that we currently have in the industry. I mean, we are in a very special position because we are one of the only HomeKit exclusive brands, the only big one. And the reason for that has been not because we don't like the products of the other people, but because the system setup was really, really messed up. So it was cloud to cloud. It was cloud dependency, and we don't have a cloud, and we didn't want to run a cloud because for data reasons, for privacy reasons. So we never went that step, and that has prevented us from being on the other platforms. And the great thing about HomeKit is it's a local protocol. So it doesn't matter if we go belly up next year, the products will still work in the customer's home, as happens with other companies' products now. And Matter is the same thing. So it's a local protocol. It works within your home. So it's basically defining the language that is spoken between things, much in the same way that HomeKit is a language that can be spoken. So with Matter, you get everything that's great about HomeKit, but it now also works with non-Apple products at the end of the day.
So I think the short version there is they will still work because it is local. So there's no reliance on a third-party cloud server.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good question. Here's my next question. This is more Eve specific. We've talked on the show about how Matter, especially in iteration 1, is going to be fairly broad and simple in terms of maybe what its commands are, right? Like maybe lights will have on and off and brightness and color control, but they're not going to have other specific things. So what happens with products that have special HomeKit features? So in this case, right behind me, you guys probably can't see it in our narrow field of view here, but I've got an Eve light strip, which of course supports adaptive lighting, a HomeKit specific feature. How does that work with when it comes into play with Matter and other platforms? Will they still be able to use those things? And how do other products, locks that have HomeKey? That's a really HomeKit specific feature, but if they work with Matter, how do those all play out and tie together?
Mm-hmm. So I can't really comment on HomeKey because I don't work at a company that's working on a lock, as you know. But let's dive a little bit into how this whole adaptive lighting works, for example, because that's one of the products we have. So the adaptive lighting stuff is actually run by your Home Hub. So that's part of the system requirements, basically, that your Home Hub decides, okay, it's this time of the day and this weather condition and lighting condition, so this is the color temperature that the light strip should have, and then it repeats that every once in a while to sort of adjust the lighting curve. So the way this currently works is completely independent from the language, like what the Home Hub talks with the light strip. So they can talk HomeKit, and that works well today. We see that. But it wouldn't really matter. That pun was not intended.
Unintended.
No, it wasn't. It's hard to avoid those puns with the Matter brand name. But yeah, so it doesn't matter whether they talk Matter. Same thing. Right. So you sort of need that thing in your home that empowers those sort of features, adaptive lighting, and then it can work the very same way.
So, I mean, technically, if someone has an Amazon Assistant home, not a single Apple Hub in the place, no Apple TV, no HomePod, they only have Amazon Assistant Echoes in their house. They have smart home devices, supports Matter. They want to get the Eve light strip that supposedly also supports Matter. Would they get adaptive lighting or not?
So this is a tough question because I don't want to confuse people here. Eve Lightstrip is a Wi-Fi product today, and so we're transitioning our threat lineup to Matter, which notably does not include Eve Lightstrip. So I don't actually know because we're not actively working on that. Sure. But what I can comment on is how a product like Eve Energy would, for example, work. So for Eve Energy, our smart plug, we have additional functionality that's not covered anywhere, right? So of course you can turn it on and off, and you can use the Eve app, the Home app, Siri for that. But we also have energy metering functionality, which is sort of something custom that we built and implemented, and we completely use the HomeKit mechanisms for that, but in a way that doesn't require it to be defined anywhere, right? So Apple doesn't have energy consumption in their Home app, but we do. So this is sort of the custom bits and pieces you can add to whatever is specified to sort of enable those features and innovation ultimately for companies. So that's one mechanism to implement these kinds of things.
So from my understanding then, which is what I was kind of getting at with the question, HomeKit is still going to have like more or less exclusive features that other platforms won't have. So when you're like, buying a Matter product, it may work across, 3 different platforms, 4 different platforms, but you're still going to have extra features baked into HomeKit that you wouldn't have with like Amazon Assistant, whether it is features like HomeKey, adaptive lighting, or energy monitoring. I mean, maybe they have energy monitoring over on the Amazon side or Google Assistant side, but there will still be like some specific features that are relegated to certain platforms.
I fully expect that. I mean, this is not the story of everybody getting together and everything just being the same and completely interchangeable. That's nobody wants that, and also customers don't want that, because where would innovation be coming from?
Yeah, you need a benefit to certain platforms.
Right. So this will be a competitive landscape, just as it is today, but without the barriers of benefiting from that competition. So there might be you might be all set in your Apple world today, and then there might be another company coming around like Google or Amazon or really any other one like Eve, and introduce a feature that works with all your devices you have at home. And you can then use that. And that's the beauty of Matter. It really enables anyone, not only the big ones, to develop features that work with all your devices. And I'm really thrilled to see what's going to happen with that.
So in this process then, because there are or may be features that are still platform dependent, is there going to have to be a separate certification process, one for a Matter certification and then one for a HomeKit, and then maybe there's also one for an Amazon certification, and you end up you're on 4 platforms still going through Matter, but you still have 4 or 5 certifications you have to get?
I don't fully know, because I'm not one of the not speaking on behalf of one of the companies doing those certifications. So this is pretty much guessing right now, but I think for the time being, those companies are gonna wanna have those special treats and have that as incentives to do their certifications as well. Yes.
Okay. Because I think that's something that Steven and I have been talking about and not knowing. Is Apple going to require a separate certification? And from what we've gathered, it seems like yes. And I know, still no one knows for sure. Apple hasn't made anything official, but it still seems like there's going to be certifications, and it still seems like there's a lot of barriers for customers to make sure that they're buying. Now I need to make sure it has Matter certification and HomeKit certification if I'm looking for that, or just focusing on the HomeKit certification part. And then for manufacturers like you guys to make sure you play nice and make sure you do get the certifications for Matter, Amazon, Apple, or whoever else is offering specific certifications. At least you want to offer specific features.
I'm not really sure this is a customer problem, though. It certainly may be a manufacturer problem to sort of go through all of those certifications, but really many companies that are not called Eve do more than one certification today.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's sort of tried and true. So for us, it may be some overhead, but for the customer, really, what do you care about? You care about that the stuff works with whatever you have at home. So right now, you only have Apple products at home, and then the HomeKit badge is a really, really great sign that stuff just works flawlessly. Well, in the future, the Matter badge will be the golden standard, because that means it works with whatever you have at home. It works great with like your HomeKit alongside your HomeKit devices with your Apple Home ecosystem, but you're not locked in, and you can choose to buy a smart display from some other manufacturer and just add that to your setup. So I fully expect that one Matter badge will be the golden standard. And then if you look for additional functionality, let's take adaptive lighting, for example, then you might want to go and look at an additional badge to sort of justify that.
Well, Steve, I'll throw into you, Stephen, because I'll ask you this question. Like, when we're looking at something like a light strip, as HomeKit users, like specifically, I feel like I'd almost still, to a degree, I'd look at the Matter badge. But if I'm looking at two different light strips, say you have one light strip that supports like adaptive lighting, they both just say Matter on them, but one clearly works better with HomeKit. Like the Matter part,
yeah,
it's still, I would still rather the HomeKit one. And how do you even differentiate those? And then what do you write on your box? Supports Matter and Amazon Alexa, but also certain features only with HomeKit, and then list like the extra features that are HomeKit specific or Amazon Assistant, whatever they happen to be. But
yeah,
wouldn't you like?
There's an old joke. I think it was XCKD or whatever. He writes like internet comics, and he had one like a long time ago that said, "We're going to make one more document standard that will just work with everybody, and it will be the one standard for all." And then the next pane is like, "This just added one more file format that everyone has to deal with." You know, it's like there's no formatting. We got DocX, PDF, and we got everything. And so, like you're saying, Andrew, I wonder if this will just add one more label to every smart device box where you have like Google, Amazon, HomeKit, Matter. So now we got 4 instead of 3. But what I'm curious too, and Tim, I don't know if you could speak to this, but you know, when it comes to a HomeKit device, me as the user, like you're saying, what is the customer's issue? I know that when I pull a HomeKit device out of the box, I'm going to look for that HomeKit code to set it up in the Home app. And I'm curious, when a device supports Matter and should work with my HomeKit Home, but is not HomeKit first, will that light switch or smart plug have a HomeKit code to set up? And if not, what is that setup experience going to be like? Can I just open the Home app like I'm used to on my iPhone and scan something? Or will it be something totally different? Do you know how that might work, Tim?
There actually has been some public communication around this when they did the brand reveal, when they transitioned from Chip to Matter, and there are like images out there of like sample Matter devices that show a QR code that looks very similar to what every HomeKit user is used to today. So that process will be completely frictionless. So to maybe take a step back, what happened with Matter is like all the companies currently doing this got together and sort of identified in each area what the best way to do things are. And so that frictionless setup experience that we all enjoy in HomeKit today, which is not really the case with other ecosystems to a large degree, that is an obvious benefit that they carried over to Matter as well, next to like the local connectivity and all of that. So to answer your question, if you buy a Matter product without a HomeKit badge, you'll still just have the same process of scanning a QR code and just setting up that device really, really easily.
Yeah, and I actually just found a tweet. This is from June 2021, so almost close to a year ago. But HomeKit News actually has an image of a Matter QR code, and it shows the Home app literally scanning the Matter QR code like it would a HomeKit code. So, yeah, if that's the case, I mean, that would be good. That would be good.
But I hope Stephen and I hope we're not coming off too like aggressive against Matter here, because we are excited and very bullish about it. And I know for me, I'm excited for like the additional categories. Like I'd rather have even basic support for some of these products than no support, like smart displays, like robot vacuums, stuff like that.
Right. Exactly. That's one of the benefits. I think, like, we as a company, we're super happy in the HomeKit space. Like it's a great space to be in, and as you've sort of seen throughout the past years, we haven't really felt the need to go beyond that. So this is not why we're so excited about Matter, is because like we have all those other customers now that we can address. We could have done that if we really wanted that. But it's great for the experience that we currently have on HomeKit. So it's really everything you love about HomeKit, but better. Like you may not care about like the interoperability. You may never want to get an Amazon speaker in your home or a Google speaker, and that's fine. But maybe you want a smart display, and then you can do that with these products. Maybe you have a kid that doesn't enjoy the benefits of an iPhone yet and has an Android phone. They couldn't control all the HomeKit devices today except for talking to the HomePod. And with Matter, they can. And you can still have locally connected, nice, secure devices. And then, as you mentioned, the device categories, it's a much more democratic process now to sort of enable all those crazy companies out there doing amazing products to say, okay, I want this supported, and then it can happen.
Well, Tim, you're making me excited for Matter again. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, do you think this final delay is like? Are we going to see it this fall? Do you think we're going to see it 2022?
I'm pretty certain we will.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll get excited again. Let's see it.
Steven, I hear they changed it explicitly for Apple to release iOS 16. Like they're timing it with Apple's release just for them.
Okay, very good. Well, very cool. So I'm excited about Matter again. Well, Andrew, you got any more Matter questions? You want to talk about some camera?
Yeah. What about you, Tim? You got anything else you want to talk about Matter, or you want to talk about maybe some Eve outdoor camera news that
we can gladly talk about that. So I'm happy that I could introduce some more excitement around Matter again. It's gonna be awesome. But also there's like the world today that's not Matter yet, and the products we have. And yeah, we have a camera coming up, Eve Outdoor Cam, a floodlight camera, and we've announced that at CES, and it's very close to being launched.
Well,
nice.
I'm excited.
I was going to say, I wouldn't even say at CES, because with all the COVID stuff, you guys were not able to attend. No, I was so excited to see this thing in person and see it. And yeah, things did not work out that way.
Yeah, you'll be really, really happy to see it. It's so beautiful. It's like made of aluminum and has really a high quality heft and feel to it. So it's really a gorgeous product. Of course, you won't have it in your hand that long. It'll be just sitting nicely on your outside wall.
You just hold it 2 seconds and then mount it. Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, also there, it's nice to have something pretty to look at. That's one part. But then really all the tech is. I think we paid close attention to just making everything work and be really integrated really well. So you don't have to think about stuff. And HomeKit Secure Video is of course a big part of that because it's such a seamless experience where you don't have to worry that your video is going to end up on like some random server. That, like for me, that's about a camera. That's like the most important thing. You have to be confident that the video stream is sort of secure and encrypted and nobody but you can access it. And we think HomeKit Secure Video does a really, really great job at that.
Yeah, I'm all in on HomeKit Secure Video, and I don't know if you know, building a house. It is going to be finished in 5 or 6 weeks, and I was looking to see what floodlight camera I can put on the front of my garage, and there was only, I think, one other option until April 5th, it looks like, is the date for the Eve one, but it is actually less expensive than the other option, and I don't know, I want one of these, Tim. What is it, April 5th I can order this thing?
Unfortunately, it's going to be a slight delay. We're talking about delays again a lot.
You've been hanging around Matter too long. You've been hanging around Matter. The delays. It's contagious.
Yeah, no. Our team put a lot of effort into this, but I mean, with the current situation and like the whole supply chain madness that is going on, we had to push it to May. So it's just a little while longer.
All right.
So not a super huge delay, but we can't meet that April deadline. Unfortunately, we would have loved to.
I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
That month doesn't matter to me.
Happy to.
Get out of here. Can I mute Steven from my side? Is there a way to?
Yeah, just cut it off. But no, I'm excited for it. I am going to wait to get this for my outdoor camera, and love HomeKit Secure Video. It's lower profile too. You know, some floodlight cameras can be very like large and whatever, and this looks like it's like visually pleasing as well. So it's very cool.
Yeah, I definitely think it is.
I was going to ask Tim, was that the exclusive update that was teased before our call here, that you guys had to push the launch by roughly a month?
Yeah, that may have been it. Yeah.
What a fun exclusive update to share with our audience. Well, I'm glad that Tim had to break the news and not us, Steven.
That is true. Yes, that is true. So about a month. So this show airs April 4th, Monday, as our listeners listen to it. So they can get this in about a month?
Yeah, it is sometime in May. I think by the time this airs, we'll have a specific date to actually communicate. As I've said, planning is sort of, I feel for our supply chain team. They're doing an amazing job right now. But yeah, I mean, I've been testing the product for ages, of course, and I can't wait to have other people using it as well.
I'll test one for you if you'd like to. I could test one. I could take some drone shots of it.
We can make that happen.
Just saying. Well, let me ask you this. I actually just got another Eve product recently. I talked about on the show, the Eve Flare, your glowing orb. And I don't know, do you have anything to announce about maybe thread compatibility coming soon or anything like that? I might buy another one for my studio in the new home.
There is no immediate launch of a thread-enabled version of this, but what I can say and what we have been saying is that we will, of course, transition all products that used to be Bluetooth-based to also include thread technology, because that's, for one thing, one of the pillars of Matter. So that's sort of the prerequisite to make Matter a reality. But also, as we've seen in the past year in HomeKit, it's just such an improved experience that you really want this in your products. So, yeah,
for sure.
In that spirit, we'll update all of our products, and eFlare is one of our products. So that will happen eventually.
So, what products may you be transitioning next to Thread? We just got your WaterGuard. We had the review of that guy come out, which is great. Love more Thread, especially router capability is perfect. What other things might be on your radar for Thread? I know everything is happening, but what has higher importance in your roadmap?
I'm trying to think what products we haven't put on Thread yet. It's not many. I think we have the largest part of our portfolio moved to Thread now. So yeah, the other ones will follow, I would say.
Do you? Let me ask you this: this is a product you don't currently have, so you're not, cannibalizing any current sales. I needed to get a bunch of dimmers for my house, and that is one HomeKit product. You have a light switch, but no dimmer. Are there any plans to release a dimmer version also?
Yeah, I heard about your experiences with like all those different brands and switches. That was quite the project, or continues to be probably.
Yes.
So we may have a pretty European point of view here, really, but like dimmers create a lot of problems in many setups because like at least here in Europe, like everybody has transitioned to like cheap LED lighting ultimately that can't really be dimmed at the source. So really the options going forward are if you want dimming, replace the light source, or don't have dimming, basically. So that's sort of the mindset we live in. So if you have like light bulbs that may not be LED or something, or can be dimmed easily, the Eve light switch is not the product because it creates a lot of problems for many people that don't know like what sort of light source they have or replace their light source later on and that sort of thing. So we have consciously decided against that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I won't look for any Eve dimmers then, I guess.
Yeah, but you did say the Eve Thread light switch is next, right? That's the one specifically?
I'm not sure I said that.
Was it just my earphones that heard that?
We tried, Andrew. I don't know. That's
pulling teeth over here.
I know. All right. Well, you got us a little bit more excited about Matter, Tim. I'll give you that. So
I'm happy about that, and you should be. It's not taking anything away from HomeKit. It's just making things better.
Okay. All right, well, Andrew, you got any more questions for Tim?
I don't think so. I think we've grilled him quite a bit today.
You sure did.
Thread updates and Matter.
You sure did.
And that was the last time we had Tim on the show.
Yep, that was it. Well, Tim, thanks so much for coming on. Again, the Eve Outdoor Cam with HomeKit Secure Video will be coming in about a month. Be looking out. We'll cover that for sure when it comes out. Tim, anything else you'd like to point people towards in the next when this episode launches to find out more about Eve?
I think just our regular stuff. EveHome.com, Eve WaterGuard. You already know it exists. Eve Outdoor Cam will be pretty amazing, and we look forward to getting some nice impressions and coverage about that in the coming weeks. So yeah, and stay tuned, I would say.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Andrew, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks, listeners. You can find links to everything we talked about in the show notes. And, of course, you'll have links to Eve and all the great stuff that they have as well. Thanks for tuning in this time. We'll catch you next episode. All right.
Woo.
Very good. Let me